If the path be beautiful, let us not ask where it leads. To accomplish great things, we must not only act, but also dream, not only plan, but also believe. Until one has loved an animal, a part of one's soul remains unawakened. The whole art of teaching is only the art of awakening the natural curiosity of young minds for the purpose of satisfying it afterwards. And education isn't how much you have committed to memory, or even how much you know. It's being able to differentiate between what you know and what you don't. All changes, even the most longed for, have their melancholy, for what we leave behind us is a part of ourselves. We must die to one life before we can enter another. The law, in its majestic equality, forbids the rich as well as the poor to sleep under bridges, to beg in the streets, and to steal bread. If 1,000,000 people say a foolish thing, it is still a foolish thing. The average man does not know what to do with this life, yet wants another one which will last forever. Nature has no principles. She makes no distinction between good and evil. It is by acts and not by ideas that people live. To imagine is everything. To know is nothing at all. You learn to speak by speaking, to study by studying, to run by running, to work by working, in just the same way. You learn to love by loving. The truth is that life is delicious, horrible, charming, frightful, sweet, bitter, and that is everything. There are very honest people who do not think that they have had a bargain unless they have cheated the merchant. It is better to understand little than to misunderstand a lot. It is human nature to think wisely and act in an absurd fashion. The poor have to labor in the face of the majestic equality of the law, which forbids the rich as well as the poor to sleep under bridges, to beg in the streets, and to steal bread. It is well for the heart to be naive and the mind not to be. I prefer the folly of enthusiasm to the indifference of wisdom. Of all the sexual aberrations, chastity is the strangest. Innocence most often is a good fortune and not a virtue. That man is prudent who neither hopes nor fears anything from the uncertain events of the future. Lovers who love truly do not write down their happiness. An education which does not cultivate the will is an education that depraves the mind. War will disappear only when men shall take no part whatever in violence and shall be ready to suffer every persecution that their abstention will bring them. It is the only way to abolish war.